Greens of love, peace, health, happiness, and prosperity. I'm Dr. Keela, and you know what? I have a lot of popular videos on this channel, the Healing Power Hour channel, and some videos are more memorable than others. One of those videos I'm talking about is the video titled The Amazing Effects of Cayenne Pepper, My Personal Experience. This video is awesome because I share with you 4 or 5 of my personal experiences with the amazing effects of cayenne pepper. And one of those stories include a man named Mr. Johnson and how cayenne tincture stopped his heart attack. Okay? Now, I get a lot of comments on this video. We get a lot of emails from people asking a lot of questions in reference to the current state of Mr. Johnson. Is he still alive? That's one of the main questions a lot of people are asking. Has he had a heart attack since that filming of the, or shall I say, since that recording of the video? And the famous one, is he still married to Mrs. Johnson? Well, I have the answers to all those questions, plus some exciting news that involve Mr. Johnson and I. You're going to really love this. But for those of you who have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. I took that clip out of the video and I'm going to share with you in a few seconds so that you can be updated on who Mr. Johnson is and why people are asking those questions. So without further ado, here is the clip from the video, The Amazing Effects of Cayenne Pepper, My Personal Experience. This is the Mr. Johnson story. Enjoy. This story is wild, actually. I was in the grocery store and I had some liquid cayenne on me. And the man, like 2 people in front of me, there was this man who just collapsed on the floor. And he was grabbing his heart and he just had this very horror-looking expression on his face. Like it was hard to describe the horror on his face, the expression on his face, but you can tell something was wrong. And his wife begins to shout, "Oh my God, he's having another heart attack." Somebody called 911. So everybody's yelling and calling 911. People like, "Give him some room, give him some room." And I just remembered, oh my gosh, that's right. Cayenne will help him with the heart attack. So I'm not thinking, I'm a little naive, I want to save the world, and I take my liquid cayenne and I put an entire dropper full in the syringe and I squeeze it in his mouth. Just to be on the safe side, I do another one. Now that was a little too much. FYI, when someone is having a heart attack, or if you're having a heart attack or stroke, you only need half a dropper full. So I just put 2 full dropper fulls, and believe it or not, dude, mouth was on fire. So like it took about several seconds. It worked immediately, because it was that confusion in his head, like, what the hell did she put in my... It was just like that. It was he was begging for some water, and the whole time he's guzzling water, and he didn't have a heart attack anymore. But his wife saw all of this and she freaked out. She called me a voodoo woman, and she said that I put chicken blood in his mouth, and she wants me arrested for practicing roots. And for those of you who are not in Georgia or are not from the South, roots, it's a southern word for roots, and that's when somebody puts some kind of evil, lower vibrational energy on you, such as voodoo or whatever, and or a hoax or a hex or whatever, like a zombie. I think she think I turned her husband into a zombie, and that's the reason why he stopped his heart attack. And believe it or not, they helped me there until the police came. And the police came and they put me into the investigation room. You know how each store has this investigation room for shoplifters? They had me in there asking me, where did I get this vial of red stuff? And they smelling it, and they could tell it's cayenne. When you smell it, you know it's cayenne. No chicken blood. Chicken blood don't smell like that. Well, not that I know, but you know what I'm saying. It's just like you can just put 2 and 2 together. And Long story short, because this is a long story, they finally let me go. They took my information, my personal information, my driver's license, all that information, and they let me go. And I was mad. I was very angry, and I realized, like, I helped this man, and they trying to put me in jail. What's going on with the world? And then I told my teacher, and that's what my teacher says, you must be selective on who you help. Because, you know, sometimes, just like when you give someone CPR, there's people who you saved their lives in CPR, and the people who was performed, the CPR was performed on, they sue the people who performed the CPR on them, who saved their lives. And you have people like that. You have very vicious, evil people who will do that. You save their lives and then they sue you. America, right? So anyway, after that, I got a phone call from the sergeant at the police department who asked me if it was okay to give my phone number to the man I gave the cayenne pepper to. He said that he went to the hospital and that the doctors confirmed that he did have a heart attack, but for some reason they can't explain why the heart attack stopped, and his heart was not damaged as a result. And they wanted to know what he did, what I gave them, everything like that. But the guy was just happy. And by the way, his name is Mr. Johnson. And Mr. Johnson, I told the sergeant that he can't give my phone number to Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson contacted me, and actually we're still good friends to this very day. He just wanted to thank me. He thanked me with this big thing of roses. And his wife still hates on me. So yes, she gives me lots of shade, but it's okay because she can't cover my son. So so anyway, it did help stop his heart attack, and because of that, he has learned to put cayenne pepper on most of his food. Did he stop doing or eating the food that caused his heart attack? No, but he hasn't had a heart attack since he started incorporating cayenne pepper into his diet. Okay, I want to retract the statement I made in reference to Mr. Johnson's diet. I recorded that video the month of January 2012, and I would like to let you know that the summer of 2012, Mr. Johnson's diet changed from the crazy foods that he would consume, the unhealthy foods that he would consume that caused him to have those 2 heart attacks, to healthy foods that not only got him to get off on a lot of his medication, but he lost over 80 pounds. Let me tell you what happened. I normally call Mr. Johnson because, you know, I'm back and forth in Germany, and when I'm in Atlanta, I'm so busy with clients. But he always orders his tinctures from me because I personally make them. He doesn't want to order from anybody else. It's like I tell him, like, Mr. Johnson, go to the herb shop or go to Whole Foods. No, I want you to make it. So I end up making him something like this. Okay, yeah, I don't know if you can see it here. Something like this. And I will put a little rinky-dink sticker on it saying Mr. Johnson's cayenne pepper, or Mr. Johnson Cayenne's tincture, and so he'll keep it. And a bottle like this will last him 3 to 4 months. So he would get 3 or 4 bottles a year. So these things really last him. He would put it on his meats and his vegetables, and sometimes his baked or mashed potatoes. So when I brought his new bottle over there to see him, he looked great. And so I was telling him, I said, Mr. Johnson, you look great. I started to give him a side eye, like, what's going on? You know? Because, you know, Mrs. Johnson gonna always be a suspect as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, he had his whole entire diet changed. Guess who changed his diet? Mrs. Johnson. I know. I was shocked too. Let me tell you what happened. Oh, this is a doozy. I recorded the video January 2012. And it was, you know, it's got a couple of 100 views. Nothing so big deal about it. It didn't get popular until May or June of that year. May and June of that year, it started to spread like wildfire. It was just getting really, really popular. It was going from 600 views to 1,000 views to 20,000 views to 80,000 views. It was like, whoa, why is this video getting viewed so much in so little time? Let me tell you what happened. A church member that attends the same church as Mrs. and Mr. Johnson saw my video where I was talking about Mr. Johnson and the whole voodoo thing and Mrs. Johnson and the police and liquid cayenne. And so they put two and two together because they remember Mr. Johnson coming in front of the church and making a testimony. And the testimony involved the cayenne tincture and it involved me. And everybody was so happy about it, and that's how a lot of the church members had asked him to ask me if I could make it, and I just refused because I just said, look, I'm not going to specialize in herbal supplements. I want to keep my supply line and supplement line relatively small. I'm not going into the herbal supplement business. That's just not what I'm interested in. That's why we only have a select few, a very small, humble amount of herbs that we sell. Anyway, so they go and get it, and but because Mr. Johnson doesn't want to get it from anybody but me, I make an exception for him. Okay, so when everybody saw this video and they started sharing with other people, everybody started giving Miss Johnson the side eye like, you try to collect that insurance money. I know what's going on. So people started to just make spot checks on Mr. Johnson, just coming out of the blue and coming over there to the house to check on him to make sure he's okay. Every time they come and see him in church, they, ask him how he's doing, how he's feeling good, and they give him his number. They give him their number, say, if you need me for anything at all, you done call me. You hear me? You hear me? I done seen that video by that herb doctor on the YouTube. I want you to know that if anything happened to you, I know who to come to. And they all looking at Mrs. Johnson. So all eyes are on Mrs. Johnson, okay? All eyes. Everybody is looking at her like, yeah, we know what's up. So guess what? She's so paranoid, and rightfully so, that because look, if anything, if Mr. Johnson goes to the hospital for an ingrown toenail, do you know who's going to be blamed for that? Mrs. Johnson. She has nothing to do with the ingrown toenail, but it doesn't matter. The fact is that she got mad at me, called the police, and made all this hoop-brah-brah, okay, over the whole voodoo, cayenne pepper, chicken blood thing. And so folks, they saw that. They saw right through that and knew what was going on. So now that she got all these eyes on her and anything happened to Mr. Johnson, she knows she got a lot of hell on her hands afterwards. So she has been taking care of him. And so as a result, they have been walking together about 3 times a week. And he goes fishing a couple of 2 to 3 times a week, depending on the weather. And she has taken, are you ready for this? She has taken red meat out of his diet. I know. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Honey, let me tell you something. I was really happy to hear that. And she has been making sure he gets 2 servings of vegetables. That's what I definitely recommend. He gets 2 servings of vegetables, not cooked to where it's all mushy as bleh. It should be crunchy or as raw as possible. Nothing overly cooked because you're going to drain out the nutrients out of it. You're going to cook the nutrients out of it. And she's been making sure he's getting his water. And because of that, he's no longer on his high blood pressure medication. That's gone. Cholesterol medication is gone. He shouldn't have been on that in the first place, but it doesn't matter. Cholesterol medication is gone. He is no longer taking insulin injections. He's on a small dosage of the insulin pills, but to go from insulin, I forgot how many cc's, I don't know how many cc's he was taking, but to go from insulin injections to going to the small pill, it's really a big improvement on his health. And he's no longer taking his edema medication, and he was on I forgot the name of the pain medication, but he was suffering from arthritis in his hips and his knees, and the arthritis is not as so severe that he has to take these pain medication. So he has made a huge improvement in his health, in addition to eliminating 80 to 83 pounds of excess weight off of him. Mrs. Johnson, she lost some weight too. I don't know how much because I don't care. But Mr. Johnson is looking great. He's lost the weight. He's off a lot of his medication, and he's looking good. Now, when I saw him again this past March, right now it's 2015, if people see this in the future, when I saw him in this past March, to give him his daily dosage, his little bottle before I left to go to Germany, he was talking about how his church members and his friends and family, you know, are really disappointed that they can't get the cayenne pepper from my company. And he was like, what if I just say Mr. Johnson? Because look, check this out, y'all. Check this out. Mr. Johnson knows how famous he is now, okay? He is somewhat of a celebrity in Clayton County. Bless his heart. Everybody knows about him. Everybody adores him. All because of my video. And if y'all thought Mrs. Johnson didn't like me now, back then, y'all should see how she hates me now. Oh, God. Hence why I only go over to their house once or twice a year. Okay? A year. So, honey, oof, if looks could kill. Anywho. What was I saying? Oh, I know what I'm saying. So I said, well, Mr. Johnson, I said, you know, you can say you recommend it, but I don't think there's anything special about my cayenne. You can get the cayenne from Whole Foods. You can get it from the vitamin shop, the herb shop. You know, saying there's nothing special about my cayenne. He's like, yes, it is. As I say, I recommend it. If I'm doing the YouTube, he calls YouTube the YouTube. If I'm on the YouTube, then they should know that it is a good thing that I recommend. And then a light bulb went off in my head. Hey, I got a better idea. Why don't I name the liquid tincture after you, and we split the proceeds half and half? I go ahead, excuse me, I'll go ahead and make the cayenne tincture. We will supply it in the bottles, and we will ship it out, and we will use your name. And you can use 50% of your proceeds to get a new fishing rod, or to get some new tires for your fishing trailer, or to get a tackle box. And oh my God, you should have seen his face just light up with the possibilities, like, yeah, I can get me a new fishing vest. And I mean, you just see all of the possibilities, things he didn't even think he could consider on purchasing with his portion of the proceeds from the sale on the things for his hobby. Because look, let me tell you something. He loves fishing, and fishing is something that is very relaxing. I don't fish. You can't put me in the middle of some lake and just have me sitting there like this. I just can't do it. I'm not going to do that. But for those people who do it, they say it's very relaxing. Listen, beloved, high blood pressure, anyone who has suffered from a stroke or heart attack, all that is a bad diet and extreme stress. Take care of the diet, lower the stress, or eliminate it altogether. You will never, ever have to worry about suffering from a stroke or heart attack, or have to be diagnosed with high blood pressure. You don't have to. Eliminate the cause. There is no symptoms to follow behind it, okay? So his diet was altered. He was still taking the cayenne. He was also doing the garlic, which is also good for lowering high blood pressure. And so therefore he resulted in now bringing down the stress, because I'm sure it's pretty stressful living with that woman. Anyway, I'm not going to go there. Yes, I'm still salty. She tried to put me in jail, y'all. Come on now. You can't get over that so easily. Anywho, so this is something that has really relaxed him. And so if you are suffering from high blood pressure, if you had a stroke, or if you notice that you have tendencies to have the problems with your heart murmur or irregular heartbeat, deal with your stress. Find something that really relaxes you. Do you like to paint? Do you like to sculpture? Do you like to collect things? Do you like to play with trains? Do you like to fish? Do you like to boat? It's a lot of swim, exercise. There's a lot of things you can do. You can walk an hour a day, and that too will de-stress you. So don't just rely on just taking the herbs, okay? Do the diet, not the diet, change your eating regimen, change your food, eliminate the foods that will clog up your arteries, that will raise your blood pressure, that will cause these diseases or diseases, and deal with something that's going to also help de-stress you. You can't just focus on one thing and think you're going to go into a healthy state. It's holistic, beloved. It's holistic. Dealing with the mind, body, and soul. And here it is. This man religiously goes to church, and it doesn't matter what faith you are. It doesn't matter what spirituality or religion you are. If you partake in your individual spirituality, your religious beliefs, in addition to changing your diet and engaging in something that de-stresses you, you can't get high blood pressure. You don't have to worry about a stroke. You don't have to worry about suffering from a heart attack. Okay? So this is what I want to share with you. Stop thinking that herbs is the cure. That's that medical mentality. Get a pill to suppress the symptoms. You won't have to worry about the symptoms, but the disease is still there. Holistic medicine does not deal with disease management. That is strictly a medical philosophy. That's strictly a medical mentality. We dealing with the root cause, so there is no dis-ease. So there isn't any illness. You don't have to suffer from a lot of these health conditions when you get rid of the root cause. Okay, I know I went on a little rant there, but it just had to be said. It had to be said that you all just rely on the herbs and you don't want to do the work with the mental state of mind, as well as your food consumption, your daily food consumption. And Mr. Johnson included all this. We're going to do a video together when I find a way to sneak him away and away from Mrs. Johnson, because boy, she got her hooks on him, you know what I'm saying. I don't know how to get around that. Anyway, but don't worry, trust me, I'm very creative. I will get him and we will do a video together, because he's very excited about being this very popular man that I've talked about on my channel. So if you're interested in supporting his and I venture, here it is. This is Mr. Johnson. Can you see it? Mr. Johnson's Cayenne tincture. You can click on the description, the link in the description box, or on the video. If you have this video, if you're looking at this video that's being embedded, you can go to healingpowerhour.com and then go to our supplement store, and you'll see down at the bottom, the lower level, where it says Mr. Johnson's Cayenne Pepper. We have the tincture and we also have the capsules, and these are available in vegetarian capsules. Okay, so these are vegetarian capsules, and then we have the liquid tincture that's in the brown bottle. So for more information, if you want to purchase one of these, you can go to our store, and basically know that whenever you purchase Mr. Johnson's Cayenne tincture, that those proceeds will help him get away from Mrs. Johnson. Alright, that's enough from me. This is Dr. Keela. Thank you so much for watching this video. Spread the word about it. Let everybody know Mr. Johnson's doing A-OK. Trust me, folks, you're going to never, never, ever, 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 ever have to worry about him again. He is going to be fine and dandy thanks to that video. And you all made, even though I recorded it, you all made it popular. You all shared that video with your friends and family, and so hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people have seen that video. So all of Georgia know about it. I think all of Alabama know about it too. So they have seen that video. So everybody is on the lookout for Mr. Johnson, and because of that, he is going to be just fine. All right. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I leave you as I approached you with the blessings of love, peace, health, happiness, and prosperity. Have a good one.